Hi everybody, I'm going to get that review done today. AI Autoblow 3, Artificial Intelligence, inside and out. Autoblow A.I, Artificial Intelligence. The 10 settings, I would say, are extremely similar to that of any massager that you might find on the market that has 10 settings. I'm sure they're not the same, but it felt like the same. If you had the buttons right side up when the machine was upside down, it would be a lot easier than it currently is. Now, I don't know if they've changed that or not. I looked at the pictures. It didn't look like they had, but it's possible. It does have an internal fan, too, so that's kind of nice. Right there's the blower for it. I'd love to give it a positive review, but from the limited testing I was able to do, it's okay. Not better than the Autoblow 2 Plus, and not very modifiable. Okay, well, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Let's see what we're working with here. I did check and see about modifying it, even though it isn't running, since I know how it ran. And the only thing I could come up with was making something like this. And then slide it over that. Get it down to what size you want. And then attach these two, because it'll be like this. And then attach these two together. That'll keep it from coming off of the cup. So back to the beads. But I think that would work. I checked it for inside, and it has just enough room. And then see, once it's tightened down there, you'll have a little smaller circumference. The Proto came with 2 types of sleeves, 4 sleeves in all, I believe. 2 different materials. They wanted to see which one we liked the best. I went with the silicone one. The other was pretty close to the same thing. It's just a little bit harder and a little darker. So either one would have worked fine, I think. There's your motor down here. This is a spindle. This goes into the circuit board, and that is triggered by the circuit board as well. And then this is your man side, which I can't really get it to do much here without any power, but as you can see, quite an unusual system. That way, and that way. Now, the old motor in the Autoblow 2, it was pointed out this way, and then on the end was a bar that went up to a disc that was offset, and every time it would go around, it would be down and up. Well, this one does it. Yeah. Well, if your circuit board's out, it's not going to do much good. I'd put this motor in Autoblow 2 if I could get it to fit. Maybe I'll try that later. Here is the circuit board. That, what's on it, that part right there goes right on there. And I'm not sure exactly how it works. Here's how it goes. That piece goes in there at the top, and this piece runs along the side of the circuit board right here. And depending on what setting you have it on, it'll stop and go back the other direction at different places. Now, if your circuit board goes out, you're pretty much done, because this motor isn't going to allow you to run it back and forth. If you hook it directly up to 12 volt, it only goes in one direction. You'd have to put a reversing switch in there and keep hitting that. But it is a way bigger motor than the previous version. Now, the first thing I noticed when I took it apart, trying to figure out what was wrong with it, was this circuit board here was as white as this is. The whole thing, top to bottom, covered in white. After only 2 uses, I thought that was kind of crazy. I thought it was lubricant from the sleeve, but it turns out it was lubricant from these shafts right here. They had lubricated them at the factory, and the moving up and down was atomizing the gel and making it was like white spray paint on here. So anyway, they're putting a protective coating on it now. It was even on the back side of the circuit board, and you can see how close it is to the wall. The top half was all white as well. I don't know if that'll hurt a circuit board, but I figure at that rate it eventually will. So I isolated the problem with mine to there's 3 sections to the circuit board. And it's the top section with the lights. Oops, I got it upside down, sorry. No, it's right side up, see? Anyway, it's this section, the one with the lights, that has something wrong with it, but I'm no expert at circuit boards. That's the best I could do was trace it to this. I noticed when I was putting it back together, there was a little hesitation, and I looked underneath where I was working, and found this wire right here. It goes into a little clip there, and then it goes into another little clip right here. Mind my messy tape. And this post on the bottom, this one right here I believe it is, catches that wire when you go to put it on. It took me about 3 minutes to get it to go past it without grabbing it. It really wanted it. And what it did was it would pop it out of one side, but not the other one. And it would push it down into the only place it could go, which is right here. There's stuff all around everywhere else. It's the only place for it to go, which is directly which direction it's heading anyway. So it pushes it down to here, but it doesn't release it here. So it actually stretches the wire, because it's stuck in here, and then it ends up on this hole right here in the bottom. And then when the screw's put on, the wire is smashed between the base, the white bottom white of the white piece, and this blue piece, because the screw goes right in there. So it smashes the crap out of it. Stretches it and smashes it. Now, I let them know about this, and I think that might be why they had such a long delay. I don't know how many they'd already made, but I'll bet you 90% of them, if not all of them, had this wire smashed. Let's take a better look. Kind of hard to see. I lost my battery for my good camera, so I'm using my backup. But anyway, this wire's very smashed. It didn't break the coating on it, but it was flat as a pancake. But it was still working. But that doesn't mean they'll all still be working. It can break that wire without breaking the outside. Now, fortunately, that wire is only for the fan, which is right here. So if the fan isn't working, you'll know why. But I'm pretty sure they took care of that problem. I was really hoping to get another one so that I could give it a more detailed review. But in my opinion, I would suggest the Autoblow 2. It's the most easy to modify, and it's simply built. The AI is alright. I'm not sure what the price is. I'm not going to give it my seal of approval. You know, if they fix the upside down thing and put the colored lights in, that would make it go a lot further than now. Right now I would put it at no better than the Autoblow 2. I don't see paying the extra cost for this machine. If someday, somehow, I get this thing running again, I'll make another video and explain how. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be a expensive paperweight. See, it's catching that wire now. The Autoblow artificial intelligence. It's not that smart. Nobody wants a pause. Right? If you want to pause, you be sure and leave a comment, because I really doubt there's going to be a lot of comments on that. Enjoy.